The stars outside looked like tiny pinpricks of light against the deep black of space. Inside the sleek diplomatic vessel, Erin sat quietly, her fingers tracing the intricate patterns on her royal communication device. She was tired. The past few weeks had been nothing but meetings, negotiations, and tense discussions about border agreements between her star system and the neighboring planetary confederations. At just 23 cycles old, Erin was the youngest diplomatic representative her people had ever sent on such a critical mission. Her iridescent blue skin reflected the soft light of the ship's interior, and her large, almond-shaped eyes showed a mix of determination and worry. The diplomatic mission to the Andromeda cluster was supposed to be her chance to prove herself, to show that she was more than just a young royal with a fancy title. The ship's communication system crackled to life. Captain Roland's voice sounded tense. Incoming unidentified vessels approaching from the port side. Scanning now. Erin felt a sudden chill run down her spine. Something wasn't right. The diplomatic route they were traveling was supposed to be safe. It was a carefully planned path, approved by multiple planetary councils, and protected by standard interstellar agreements. "Captain," she called out, standing up from her seat, "what's happening?" Before he could answer, a violent explosion rocked the ship. Alarms blared. Red emergency lights began to pulse, casting an angry glow throughout the vessel. Erin was thrown against a wall, her head hitting the metal surface with a painful thud. Through the chaos, she heard the captain shouting orders. Crew members ran back and forth, their movements frantic. Another explosion. The ship's artificial gravity flickered, sending objects floating and spinning in the air. "We're under attack," someone screamed. Erin struggled to her feet, her royal training kicking in. She knew she needed to remain calm. Another blast sent her tumbling. Her communication device slipped from her hand, shattering against the floor. The ship's defense systems were firing back, but it was clear they were outgunned. Erin could hear the distinct sound of hull breaches and emergency sealing protocols activating. The diplomatic vessel was falling apart around her. A group of armored figures burst through the main entrance. Their weapons were raised, their faces hidden behind dark helmets. Mercenaries. The Crimson Talons. Erin had heard rumors about this group, a ruthless band of space pirates who would attack anyone for the right price. "The princess," one of them growled. "Find the princess." Erin's heart raced. She knew what they wanted. Her mission wasn't just a simple diplomatic trip. She was carrying critical information, secrets that could change the balance of power in the entire sector. She backed away, looking for an escape route. The ship's emergency pods were her only chance, but the mercenaries were closing in, their heavy boots stomping against the metal floor. Another explosion. The ship was breaking apart. Erin saw her chance and ran. Her hand hit a control panel, and an emergency pod began to unlock. She dove inside, her fingers frantically pressing buttons to launch the small craft. The pod jettisoned just as the main ship erupted in a massive fireball. Erin was thrown back against the pod's interior, her body aching from multiple injuries. Outside, the massive explosion scattered debris across the dark expanse of space. As the pod drifted, its systems barely functioning, Erin realized the terrible truth. She was alone, wounded, abandoned, with no way to call for help. The vast, cold emptiness of space stretched out around her, indifferent to her fate. Jake Rodriguez sat in the pilot's chair of his cargo ship, the Silver Horizon. His fingers tapped lazily against the navigation console, creating a steady rhythm that matched the soft hum of the ship's engines. Another long delivery run through the quiet, empty spaces between trading routes. Most pilots avoided these lonely stretches of space. They were boring, risky, but Jake liked the peace. After years of military service and too many complicated missions, the silence was a welcome friend. The ship's scanning system beeped. Once, twice, then a rapid series of sharp alerts that made Jake sit up straight. Something was out there. Something small. Something barely registering on the long-range sensors. "Computer," he called out, "give me a detailed scan of the object at coordinates 7 beta 9. The ship's AI responded in its calm, mechanical voice. Scanning. Detecting a small vessel. Possible escape pod. Life signs present. Critically low power levels. Structural integrity at 12%. Jake frowned. Escape pods weren't common in this part of space. Most ships had better emergency protocols, and the pod's condition looked bad. Really bad. Most cargo pilots would ignore it. An escape pod meant potential trouble, complications, extra paperwork, possible medical expenses, maybe even legal issues if the survivor needed medical care or transport. But Jake wasn't most pilots. He remembered his days in the medical corps, the training, the oath, the countless lives he'd helped save during conflict zones and emergency missions. Something inside him always pushed him to help, even when it wasn't the smartest business decision. Plot an intercept course, he told the computer. Prepare emergency medical bay for potential rescue. The Silver Horizon changed direction, its massive engines shifting smoothly. As they approached the damaged pod, Jake could see how bad its condition was. Multiple hull breaches, failing life support. It was a miracle whoever was inside was still alive. Careful maneuvering brought the pod into the ship's landing bay. Jake put on his protective suit, checked his medical kit, and prepared for first contact. The bay's pressurization systems activated, creating a safe environment for examination. The pod's door was damaged. Jake used a precise laser cutter to remove the warped metal. Steam hissed. Warning lights blinked. And then he saw her. An alien, but not like any he'd seen before. Erin lay crumpled inside the pod, her blue skin pale and translucent. Multiple wounds covered her body. Her breathing was shallow. Strange biological tubes and organic-looking attachments were connected to her body, systems Jake didn't recognize. Medical eye, he called. Analyze patient. Full spectrum scan. The ship's advanced medical system began its work. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing complex biological readings. Jake could see her heart, or what he assumed was her heart, beating in an unusual rhythm. Her respiratory system was completely different from human biology. But she was alive. Barely. Jake knew he had limited time, limited knowledge. But he also knew one thing. He wasn't going to let her die. Not today. Not on his watch. Hang in there, he whispered, carefully lifting her from the pod. You're safe now. The medical bay doors opened. The rescue had begun. Erin's eyes flickered open. Everything was bright. White. Unfamiliar. Her body felt heavy, like it was made of lead. Pain rippled through her muscles with each tiny movement. The last thing she remembered was the explosion. The attack. The emergency pod. Now she was somewhere else. Somewhere strange. A figure moved nearby. Large. Humanoid. Definitely not one of her people. You're awake, a deep voice said. It was calm. Steady. Not threatening. Erin tried to speak, but only a weak rasp came out. Her throat felt dry. Her body felt weak. The strange figure, the human, she realized, approached slowly. Jake Rodriguez watched the alien carefully. The medical scans had been complicated. Her biology was so different from human standards that he'd had to improvise most of her treatment. Special nutrient solutions, customized healing patches, adaptive temperature controls. Water, he asked, holding out a special container designed to work with her unusual physiology. Erin's large eyes studied him. Fear mixed with curiosity. Jake could see her struggling between instinct and desperation. Slowly, she nodded. The water, actually a specialized healing liquid, helped. Color returned to her blue skin. Her breathing became more steady. Jake had spent hours studying the medical scans, working out how to keep her alive. You're safe, he said simply. I found your escape pod. You were badly hurt. Erin's language translator, integrated into the medical systems, worked to convert his words. Her people had advanced communication technology. Even in her weakened state, she could understand him. "Why?" she asked. The single word carried so much weight. Why save her? Why help a complete stranger? An alien? Jake smiled. It was a simple smile. Kind. Something Erin had not expected from a human. "It's what we do," he explained. "Help those in need." The medical bay was unlike anything Erin had seen before. Advanced technology mixed with a strange sense of comfort. Soft lights, careful monitoring systems, machines that seemed almost alive in their precision. Hours passed. Jake checked her readings, adjusted treatments, spoke softly when he needed to communicate something important. He moved with the precision of someone who had medical training, who understood how to care for someone vulnerable. Erin learned small things. His name was Jake. He was a cargo pilot. He had once been part of the medical corps. These details came slowly, between moments of rest and healing. Her body was strange to human technology. Multiple times, Jake had to recalibrate the medical systems to match her unique biological needs. Her respiratory system worked differently. Her blood composition was unique. Her healing processes were nothing like human recovery. But Jake was patient, careful, determined. By the end of the first day, Erin understood one thing. This human had saved her life, not because he had to, not because of some political agreement, but simply because it was the right thing to do. Outside the medical bay, the silver horizon continued its journey through the vast darkness of space. Inside, an unexpected friendship was beginning to take shape. Erin closed her eyes. For the first time since the attack, she felt something she had not felt before. Hope. A week passed. Erin's strength grew each day. The medical bay became less of a hospital and more of a shared living space. Jake brought her special meals, adjusted equipment, talked to her about simple things. "I was a military medic," Jake explained one morning, checking her healing wounds. "Saw many strange things, helped people from different planets, but never someone quite like you." Erin's translator worked smoothly now. Her curiosity about humans grew with each conversation. Jake was different from what she had expected. Most stories about humans painted them as aggressive, violent, focused only on themselves. This human was different. He showed her how the ship worked, explained complex systems in simple words. Erin learned about cargo routes, about life as an independent space trader. Jake's stories were full of adventure, dangerous moments, unexpected kindness. After the military, Jake said, "I couldn't go back to a normal life. Too much had happened. Space became my home." Erin understood something about feeling out of place. As a royal diplomat, she had always been different, always watched, always expected to be perfect. The medical AI continued monitoring her recovery. Jake's modifications to the standard human medical systems were impressive. He had created special nutrient solutions, developed unique healing techniques that worked with her alien biology. One day, Jake brought her a small device. "Communication records," he explained. "Thought you might want to know if your people are looking for you." Erin's heart raced. The device was carefully configured to work with her communication systems, but when she activated it, only silence greeted her. "Something's wrong," she whispered. Jake sat beside her. His presence was calm, supportive. "We'll figure it out," he promised. He began helping her piece together what might have happened. The attack, the mysterious mercenaries, the complete radio silence from her home system. Erin shared more about her mission, about the delicate political situation in her star system. Jake listened carefully, asked smart questions, helped her think through the problem. "The Crimson Talons," Jake said one evening, "are known for targeted attacks. They don't do random violence. There's always a reason." Erin realized something important. Her mission carried critical information, information someone wanted to keep secret, someone powerful enough to hire mercenaries to stop her. The silver horizon continued its journey. Jake adjusted their course carefully, avoided main trading routes, kept them hidden from potential trackers. "We're safe," he would tell Erin, "but we need to be careful." Her respect for Jake grew each day. He wasn't just a rescuer. He was becoming a partner, someone who understood survival, who knew how to navigate dangerous situations. Her body healed. Her mind became stronger. The fear from the attack slowly transformed into determination. Something big was happening, and Jake was the only one helping her understand it. "Tell me everything," Jake would say, and Erin would talk, sharing secrets, sharing her story. Piece by piece, the vast darkness of space surrounded them. But inside the silver horizon, a connection was forming between a human cargo pilot and an alien princess, an impossible friendship born from survival. And something told Erin that this was just the beginning. The quiet didn't last long. Jake was checking the ship's navigation systems when the first warning came. A small red light, then another. The ship's computer began to beep. "Incoming vessels," the computer announced. "Multiple signatures. Approach vector detected." Erin was by his side in an instant. Her healing was complete. Her movements were quick, sharp. Years of royal training kicked in. "Crimson talons," she whispered. Jake's hands moved fast across the control panel. The Silver Horizon wasn't just a cargo ship anymore. During Erin's recovery, he had modified the systems, added weapons, improved shields, prepared for trouble. "How did they find us?" Jake asked. Erin's eyes narrowed. "They always find what they want. Someone must have tracked the communication signals." The first attack came quickly. Laser fire burst through the darkness of space. Jake's fingers danced across the control systems. The ship rolled, twisted, avoided the initial barrage. "Hold on," he shouted. The Silver Horizon wasn't built for combat. It was a cargo ship, but Jake had spent years learning how to survive, how to make impossible moves. His military training was about to be tested. 3 enemy ships approached. Each was smaller, faster, designed for pure combat. They moved like predators, hunting. Jake activated the ship's defensive systems, modified pulse cannons, experimental shield boosters, tricks he had picked up during his years of independent trading. "They want something," Erin said. She was studying the enemy ships. "They're not trying to destroy us. They want to capture." Another wave of attacks came. Jake's piloting was incredible. He rolled the massive cargo ship like a small fighter, avoided direct hits, used nearby space debris as temporary cover. The enemy ships were persistent. They knew their target. They knew exactly what they wanted. Erin moved to a secondary control panel. Her alien technology worked differently. She began sending out jamming signals, disrupting their communication, making it harder for them to coordinate. "Impressive," Jake muttered. One of the enemy ships took damage, exploded in a brilliant flash of light. Jake's modified weapons had found a weak point. But 2 ships remained, and they were getting closer. "We can't keep this up forever," Jake said. Sweat covered his forehead. His hands were steady on the controls. Erin understood. "We need a plan." The ship shook. Another direct hit to the shields. They were losing power, losing time. Jake looked at her. A quick smile. "You're a royal diplomat. Got any diplomatic tricks?" She smiled back. "I might have a few." The battle continued. Space around them became a dangerous dance. Laser fire, explosions, quick movements. The Silver Horizon was fighting for survival, and Jake Rodriguez wasn't planning to lose. The next few minutes would change everything. The battle reached its breaking point. Jake's hands moved like lightning across the ship's control panels. The Silver Horizon twisted and turned, avoiding laser fire that cut through the darkness of space. Each movement was a dance between survival and destruction. "We need a plan," Erin shouted over the ship's alarms. One of the enemy ships had taken serious damage, but the other was relentless. Its weapons were more advanced, more precise. Each shot came closer to breaking through their shields. Jake's military training kicked in. He had seen worse situations, but never quite like this. "Computer," he called out, "full diagnostic. Weapon systems status." The ship's AI responded quickly. Main weapons at 62% capacity. Shield generators operating at reduced efficiency. Hull integrity at 73%. Not good, but not impossible. Erin moved to a secondary control panel. Her alien technology was different. Advanced, she began sending out complex jamming signals, disrupting the enemy ship's communication systems. "They want something," she said. "Something I was carrying during my mission." Jake understood. This wasn't a random attack. This was targeted. Specific. The enemy ship fired again. A massive energy blast that shook the entire silver horizon. Warning lights flashed. Alarms screamed. "Redirect all power to forward shields," Jake commanded. The ship's systems responded. Energy shifted. Protective barriers strengthened. But they were running out of options. Erin studied the enemy ship's movement patterns. She saw something Jake missed. A tiny weakness in their attack approach. "There," she pointed. "Their left side. Slightly vulnerable." Jake didn't hesitate. Years of combat experience told him to trust his instincts. More importantly, he trusted Erin. The silver horizon changed direction. A risky move that confused the enemy pilots. They expected a defensive strategy. Instead, they got an attack. Jake fired. Precisely. Carefully. The modified pulse cannon struck exactly where Erin had pointed. The enemy ship's systems began to fail. Explosions erupted along its hull. But the fight wasn't over. The damaged ship launched a final desperate attack. A massive energy surge that could destroy everything in its path. Jake did something unexpected. He flew directly towards the enemy ship. "Are you crazy?" Erin shouted. "Possibly," Jake answered with a quick smile. At the last possible moment, the silver horizon rolled. The enemy ship's energy blast missed completely. Jake's maneuver was impossible. Insane. Perfect. Another precise shot from their weapons. The enemy ship exploded in a brilliant flash of light. Silence followed. The battle was over. But Jake knew something more important was coming. This was just the beginning. Erin looked at him. Respect mixed with something else. Understanding, perhaps, or the start of something more. "We're alive," she said simply. Jake nodded. Not done yet. The vast darkness of space surrounded them. The silver horizon drifted, damaged but unbroken. A testament to human survival. And an unexpected partnership. The silver horizon's communication systems hummed to life. Jake worked carefully, helping Erin establish a secure connection to her home system. Days of careful preparation had led to this moment. Erin's hands moved over the alien communication panel. Her fingers were steady. Her mind was clear. The information she carried was more important than anyone realized. "My people need to know the truth," she explained to Jake. The communication system crackled, static mixed with distant signals. Then, suddenly, a clear connection. An official communication channel opened. A stern-looking official appeared on the screen. His face showed surprise. Then confusion. Then something close to relief. "Princess Erin," the official said. "We thought you were dead." Erin explained everything. The attack. The escape. Jake's rescue. But more importantly, she revealed the real reason behind her diplomatic mission. The information was shocking. Her star system had been experiencing internal conflicts. Political groups were fighting for control. The mercenary attack was part of a larger plan to stop her from delivering critical evidence. Jake listened carefully. His military background helped him understand the complex political situation. Something big was happening. Something that could change everything. "The Crimson Talons were hired," Erin said, "by a group within our own government. They wanted to stop me from sharing what I know. The official looked worried. Jake could see it in his eyes. This was more than a simple diplomatic issue. This was a potential government collapse. Erin shared encrypted files, complex data that showed deep corruption, political agreements that broke long-standing treaties, secret deals that would destroy peace in multiple star systems. "We have proof," she said simply. Jake's role became clear. He had done more than just rescue an alien princess. He had helped save an entire political system. The communication continued for hours. Jake helped Erin navigate the technical challenges. His experience with complex communication systems proved invaluable. "How did you survive?" the official asked. Erin looked at Jake. A small smile crossed her face. "I had help." The Silver Horizon's damaged systems continued to work. Jake had been making repairs during their conversation, patching systems, improving communications. More officials joined the call. The story spread quickly. A human cargo pilot, an alien princess, a massive political conspiracy. "We will need your full testimony," one official said. Erin nodded, but she had one condition. Jake would be part of the process. His help had been critical, more than just a rescue. The political wheels began to turn. Information spread. The conspiracy would be exposed. Jake watched quietly. He had seen many things in his military career, but nothing quite like this. Erin turned to him. "We did it," she said. Jake smiled. "Not done yet." Outside, the stars continued their silent journey. Space remained vast and mysterious. But something had changed. A small moment of hope had appeared in the darkness. The Silver Horizon moved forward, carrying its unexpected heroes, carrying a truth that would change everything. 2 months passed. The political world changed forever. Jake and Erin stood in the grand reception hall of her home planet. Massive windows showed the blue-green landscape outside. Thousands of people gathered. Important officials from multiple star systems waited. Erin's royal family surrounded her. They looked at Jake with a mix of curiosity and respect. He was dressed in a simple uniform, not fancy, but clean, a symbol of his military past. "The evidence you brought," her father said, exposed a network of corruption that ran deeper than anyone imagined. The conspiracy was huge. High-ranking officials had been selling government secrets, making deals that hurt millions of people. Erin's mission had stopped something terrible from happening. Jake listened quietly. He wasn't used to official ceremonies. His life had been about cargo runs, survival, helping people when he could. Medals were presented, not just to Erin, but to Jake as well, a human who had saved an alien princess, who had helped expose a massive political plot. "You saved my daughter," Erin's mother said to Jake. Her eyes were full of emotion. "You saved more than just her life." The Crimson Talons were finished. Their entire network had been exposed. Government agencies from multiple star systems worked together to take them down. Jake's evidence, Erin's information. It all came together perfectly. News spread across different planets. A human cargo pilot, an alien princess, an impossible story of survival and hope. Jake felt uncomfortable with the attention. He was used to working alone, staying in the background. But Erin stood beside him, supportive, strong. "This is not the end," she whispered to him. "This is just the beginning." Official documents were signed. Treaties were rewritten. The political landscape changed forever, all because of a rescue in the middle of empty space. Jake's cargo ship, the Silver Horizon, was being repaired, given special status. No longer just a simple trading vessel. Now a symbol of something more. Scientists studied the communication technology Jake and Erin had used during their escape. Military experts analyzed their survival techniques. Diplomats talked about the new relationship between humans and Erin's people. "You will be remembered," one official told Jake. He just smiled. "I was just doing my job." But they all knew it was more than that. He had gone beyond what anyone expected. Saved a life, exposed a massive conspiracy, changed multiple star systems. Aaron's people began to see humans differently, not as strangers, not as potential threats, but as allies, as friends. The ceremony continued. Jake felt out of place, but Aaron was always nearby, helping him, supporting him. Outside, the sky of her home planet showed multiple moons, colors humans had never seen before. A reminder of how big the universe was, how many stories were waiting to be told. Jake and Aaron looked at each other. They both knew their journey was far from over. Something big was coming, and they would face it together. 1 year later, the Silver Horizon moved through space differently. No longer just a cargo ship, it was now a special diplomatic vessel. Jake and Aaron worked together. A team that nobody had expected. A human and an alien, bridging worlds that once seemed impossible to connect. Their first joint mission was delicate, a peace negotiation between two star systems that had been fighting for decades. Jake's military background, Aaron's diplomatic training. They were a perfect combination. "We make a good team," Aaron said, reviewing mission reports. Jake smiled. Better than good. The ship's design had changed. Part human technology, part alien innovation. A symbol of their partnership, advanced communication systems, upgraded medical bays, defensive capabilities that mixed human creativity with alien technology. Their reputation had spread quickly. The story of their rescue, the political conspiracy they exposed. It became a legend across multiple star systems. Other planets began to look at humans differently. No longer just traders, no longer just another species, but potential partners, allies. Jake had been offered many positions, military consultants, diplomatic advisors, but he chose this, working with Aaron, exploring space, making a difference. "We can do more good together," he would say. Their first major mission was complicated, a dispute between three planetary systems, old conflicts, deep misunderstandings, the kind of problem that had started wars in the past. Aaron prepared diplomatic documents. Jake analyzed security protocols. They worked like a perfect machine, understanding each other without words. The negotiation room was tense. Representatives from different worlds looked suspicious, angry, ready to fight. But Jake and Aaron changed everything. They showed how cooperation worked, how different species could understand each other, how communication could solve problems that weapons never could. "We were strangers," Aaron told the gathered representatives. "Now we are partners." Jake added context, shared experiences, showed how their own unlikely friendship could be a model for entire star systems. By the end of the week, a peace treaty was signed, something that had seemed impossible just months before. The Silver Horizon became more than a ship. It became a symbol of hope, of understanding, of what could happen when two different species worked together. Jake sometimes thought about his old life, cargo runs, simple missions, staying alone. But now he had something more, a purpose, a partnership. Aaron had become more than a rescued princess. She was a leader, a diplomat, someone who could see beyond her own people's boundaries. Their communication system could now translate languages in real time. Their medical technology could help multiple species. Their defensive systems were a mix of human creativity and alien precision. The universe seemed smaller, but also more exciting. "Ready for the next mission?" Jake would ask. Aaron's smile said everything. They were just getting started. Space stretched out before them, endless, full of possibilities.